The Boys, season 3, episode 5. This one was really good. They tell a good story. They're deviating from the comic book a little bit. Usually I don't like it when they deviate from the source material, but in this case, they're doing it all Marvel style, where the deviations add to the story and not subtract. Huey, Butcher, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, the woman, they find Soldier Boy, right? And it's cool because they see video of Soldier Boy with the Russians. The Russians have him, and they're trying to kill him, finding if they can find a way to kill him. And they shoot him. They took a machine gun down his throat and shoot him. That doesn't kill him. They pour acid on him and up him, and that doesn't kill him. They hit him with all types of radiation. They have him for years, essentially torturing, because they can't kill him. They can hurt him, but they can't kill him. He finds his way back to the US of A, and he does a walk around. It's kind of like when Captain America realized that the era had changed and he was back in America, and Cap kind of stood at Times Square and looked around and was like, oh, stuff's changed. Soldier Boy does a similar thing. He's looking at certain people and he is not approving. The world was different when he was around. Jason Ackles plays him, and he's a great actor. I like that guy. Love Supernatural. And he is basically, what if Captain America was a complete and horrible person? So, yeah, that's who he is. It seems like the torture and the radiation that they used on him gave him an extra power. Now he has the power to fire a blast of energy from his chest for some reason. And not only is it a powerful energy strike, but it seems to drain the compound V out of your body. He hit the woman with it. The woman crashes through a wall. Normally she would heal. She doesn't. Because there's no traces right now, at least, of the compound V in her body. Kind of like the super soldier serum. There was an issue in the comics where Captain America had it removed and he became just a dude. He eventually had it put back. He was Captain America again. I think they're doing a similar story. I think if he blasts you, the compound V is removed, but eventually it can be put back in, because I'm sure the woman is going to get her powers back. They become aware of him. Everybody, the boys and the Seven. It looks like Homelander doesn't really want to tangle with that guy. He's not 100% sure who he is, but he doesn't want to deal with him. So when they ask him, because now he's the leader of VOT, they ask him what they're going to do, he's like, oh, you go handle it. You take care of it. You go handle it. You go find him. He doesn't want to deal with him because he doesn't know. You know, he's used to being the biggest, baddest boy in the valley, and now he might not be. So he don't want a piece of that. He don't want no parts of that. So he tells them to go handle it. But Soldier Boy may be able to kill him. In the comics, it all built up. The entire show, the comic book, built up to the killing of Homelander. So it was done one way, which they're clearly not going to do. So I'm thinking a second way to do it. The boys now have V24, which allows them to get the powers of a suit for roughly 24 hours. I think Billy had it for more than 24, but roughly a day, you get the powers of a superhero. They have that compound, and they've got enough to last them a while. They can get into some good fights with that stuff. So it could be that Billy will kill Homelander because he's got superpowers. I don't think he's as strong as Homelander. I don't think he's as powerful as Homelander. They've already said no weapon on Earth can kill Homelander, but apparently no weapon on Earth can kill Soldier Boy either. Plus, Soldier Boy now has a power that can take your powers. So there's that. Soldier Boy comes home and he's met by Billy the Butcher, who always has a plan. And he lets him know about his diabolical plan. Soldier Boy had a girlfriend. It's the Crimson Countess. She is sort of like a Jean Grey / Scarlet Witch type thing. She uses kinetic energy to move stuff, sort of like the Scarlet Witch did in the beginning, sort of like Jean Grey does normally. She's in red, so I'm thinking Scarlet Witch. Crimson Countess. She is... He thought that was his girlfriend. She said she never liked him, never loved him, didn't. So I don't think that their time together was a mutual thing. She did not dig him. But at that time, he was the strongest person on the planet. Whatever he said goes, right? Or he might kill you. So it goed. There's some things happening that I'm kind of digging. They're setting up for some stuff. Herogasm is next episode, and that is going to be nuts. The speedster, A-Train, gets an opportunity to try to make a place for himself on the team. He's on the team, but he can't really use his powers because he might kill himself. There's a good chance he could die. So he gets up with a hero called Blue Hawk. Blue Hawk is one of the avenues that they're using to touch on things that are happening in today's world. Blue Hawk is sort of like a police officer, a superpowered police officer, and he has determined in his own mind that most crime happens in African American neighborhoods. So he polices almost exclusively in those neighborhoods, and he's killing people. One guy was unarmed and he beat him to death. Another guy was unarmed and he used his super strength and crushed his skull in the street. So A-Train's brother asked him, "Hey man, why don't you talk to this dude and calm him down?" So he has a chance to talk to him. The company sets it up so he can talk to him. He talks to him, and the guy's like, "Hey man, I didn't know it was a problem. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it." And they have an interview in an African American neighborhood where he patrols. He's reading from a script. He doesn't really sound like he means a single word. He's like, right. He's like that. And then he says he's going to give $10,000 to the community, which means nothing to the dead people. So then somebody asks, "Well, what about the guy that you killed?" And he freaks. He freaks, and it goes from 0 to 100 in about 8 seconds. He's yelling at people, screaming and cussing, telling them, you don't really matter. And they're like, "Well, Black lives matter." And then he's like, "All lives matter. And matter of fact, soup lives matter," which is a debate that they're having out in the world. All lives, right, can't matter unless Black lives matter. Because you can't say all food is great, but I don't like liver. If you don't like liver, then all food's not great. So he rushes into the crowd and he starts killing people. And A-Train's like, "Just go, man, just go. Get out of here, go." He probably would have attacked him if his powers worked, but they don't, so he couldn't. So he notices his brother was one of the victims. So I'm wondering, what's that going to do to him? Is he going to become he's kind of a douche. He's probably not going to become a good guy. But he's probably going to kill Blue Hawk. He's going to get his hands on some of that 24-hour V, that V24. Get his powers back for a day. I mean, his powers for a day is a really long time. Because it only takes an instant for him to kill you. I mean, he ran through somebody. That's how the show started. He gets his powers back. He gets a little bit of that 24V. He is probably, the Deep, he's probably going to kill the Deep too. He doesn't like that guy. So he's probably going to kill a couple people, when he gets his power back. And then just be sitting there like, "Oh, I don't have my powers. It wasn't me. It must have been somebody else. Oh, it wasn't Supersonic because he's gone. It wasn't the other dude because he's gone. Must be another speedster out there. Another one." I don't know what he's going to do. But I'm thinking, since they broke his brother up. He's never going to walk again. He's paralyzed. He's on some revenge. I mean, he saw the dude do what his brother said he was doing. He's out there attacking people. And he's like, But then he checked it out, and yeah, it's right. And he almost killed your brother. So, you know, what would you do if you had super speed and somebody tried to kill your brother, or your sister, or your uncle, or your best friend, or your wife, or your kids? You probably give them some super speed something. So I think Blue Hawk he may have one more episode, and then I think he's gone. The Deep, I really like the character. He's one of my favorite horrible people on the show, but he is probably going to die soon too. They brought on some more characters. There's a guy called the Legend, who is kind of like Stan Lee meets Hugh Hefner meets an old spy. He knows everything about everything, and he gives out bits of information. He tells Soulja Boy where to find his ex, and he tells these guys where to find Soulja Boy. But not until they listen to a few of his stories about sleeping with women that Huey is too young to even know. I mean, they were famous women a long time ago, but he doesn't know them today. But he's like, yeah, have you heard of? Yeah, I nailed her. And have you heard of this? Oh yeah, did that too. And I'm like, they are building up to that hero-gasm. They want people to be prepared for raunchiness. So that's going to happen. The Legend is played by John Reiser, who, Mad About You. He used to be one of my favorite actors back in the day. He's the guy, and he's in here. But this episode, man, I like this episode. You can see because I talk longer about this than most of them. Usually I try to keep it around 5 minutes. Couldn't do that with this one. Too much to talk about. And there's no way to talk about it without spoilers. So there were spoilers. If you didn't catch that at the beginning, I'm sure you know by now. I like this episode. I like this episode a lot. I like the season. I like the show. I like this episode. In fact, I like this episode so much that I would give this episode 9 bags of popcorn. 9 bags of popcorn, man. Because that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now that you had a chance to talk about it, let's talk about it again in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your